move, U.S. President Donald Trump said House Republicans should vote to release the Jeffrey Epstein case files.
In a referendum held on Sunday, Ecuadorians voted against a proposal to host foreign military bases and another to rewrite the constitution.
U.S. President Donald Trump said House Republicans should vote to release the Jeffrey Epstein case files in a notable reversal from his prior opposition. The U.S. president said he had nothing to hide and again blamed the Democrats and the, quote, radical left to smear the reputation of the Republican Party. A growing number of members in his own party have come out in support of the release of the documents. Trump recently fell out with Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, previously a keen supporter. She has repeatedly called for the release of the Epstein files. If the bill passes, the Justice Department would be required to release all files and communications related to Epstein, as well as details about the investigation into his death in federal prison.
In a referendum held on Sunday, Ecuadorians voted against a proposal to host foreign military bases, as well as another to launch a process that could lead to a new constitution. It was a significant defeat for President Daniel Noboa, a conservative who is closely aligned with the Trump administration. He had pushed Ecuador's courts to include the question about rewriting the constitution. As President Noboa has had a tough stance on crime, as the country struggles with drug trafficking groups using Ecuador as a transit point for cocaine from Colombia and Peru. He had recently hosted U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem for a tour of a military base along Ecuador's coast that could possibly host U.S. troops. Noboa argued a change in the constitution was needed to give the government more tools to fight crime, but critics feared that a new constitution would decrease legislative and judicial oversight of the executive branch.
The crisis over pension reform in Germany is escalating. During his weekend speech, Chancellor Friedrich Merz backed the draft legislation of the pension reform, putting him at odds with the party's youth wing, which rejected the reform package. Facing pressure, Merz warned that he did not want a bidding war for the lowest pension level.
An dieser Debatte bitte konstruktiv und aktiv teil, aber nicht indem ihr einfach nur sagt, was nicht geht, sondern mit uns darüber sprecht und wir gemeinsam diskutieren, wie es zusammengeht, liebe Freundinnen und Freunde. Das muss doch die Botschaft an die Bevölkerung sein.
The controversy over Germany's pension reform stems from the bill's provision to guarantee pension rises until 2031. According to the draft, additional cost of 120 billion euros would be incurred between 2032 and 2040. In October, some 18 members of parliament from Merz's ruling coalition, mostly from the CDU's party's Jung Union, made it clear that they would not be voting in favor of the pension package in its current form. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz on Saturday stressed Europe's strategic importance, saying that the future of the world is being shaped in Europe. Speaking at the Young Union Germany Day conference, Merz said this was not just about the European Union, but the principles guiding the coexistence of people on the continent.
Die Überschrift lautet: Die Zukunft der Welt entsteht in Europa. Die Zukunft der Welt entsteht in Europa. Und liebe Freundinnen und Freunde, diesen Gedanken, den möchte ich gerne mit Ihnen noch einmal zu Ende denken. Was heißt das? Wir gucken nicht nur auf uns selbst. Wir schauen nicht nur auf diese Europäische Union. Wir schauen auf ein politisches Modell. Wir schauen auf ein Prinzip. Wir schauen auf grundlegende Entscheidungen, wie wir miteinander leben wollen.
The Young Union Conference, where Merz spoke on Saturday, has long been a power base for the German Chancellor. Merz also declared a fight against bureaucratization, emphasizing that mistrust is not the guiding principle of European politics. Rather, it must be trust in freedom, in openness, and in people's ability to shape their own future responsibly.
Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood will announce new asylum reforms on Monday, such as the UK increasing its permanent settlement waiting time from 5 to 20 years. Mahmood said the UK will welcome those fleeing war and danger, but will introduce stricter rules like other European countries.
Because what I also want to do alongside the changes that I'm making on reducing those pull factors is to create more safe and legal routes for people to come here legitimately at our invitation, which we believe is the best way to bring people over from danger abroad and help them settle in this country.
The British government hopes the scheme will deter people from crossing the English Channel. Over 32,000 have arrived on small boats so far in 2025. With numbers expected to exceed last year's 37,000. Unauthorised migration has long been an issue, but it has become a major political focus recently. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky ended his visit to Athens with the signing of a new deal to supply US liquefied natural gas to Ukraine via Greece. In the presence of Zelensky, Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis and US Ambassador to Greece Kimberly Guilfoyle, Greece's DEPA Emporia and Ukraine's Naftogaz agreed to begin transporting gas from December to help secure Ukraine's energy needs this winter. Mitsotakis said the agreement gives Greek and Ukrainian relations a new dimension.
Η Ελλάδα, έτσι για να το πούμε πολύ απλά λόγια, καθίσταται ένας πάροχος ενεργειακής ασφάλειας για την πατρίδα σας. Και αναμφίβολα όλες αυτές είναι καταλυτικές εξελίξεις στον δρόμο για την οριστική απεξάρτηση από το ρωσικό φυσικό αέριο. Γιατί η Ευρώπη θα σταματήσει να αγοράζει ρωσικό φυσικό αέριο, το οποίο δεν θα μπορεί πια να εισέρχεται μεταμφιεσμένο στην Ήπειρό μας.
As Zelensky acknowledged the important role of Greece as an energy hub.
Домовленість щодо постачання газу в Україну. Фактично, щоночі зараз росіяни завдають ударів по нашій інфраструктурі. Найбільше по енергетичній інфраструктурі.
Zelensky arrived in Athens on Sunday, welcomed by Vice President Kostis Hagidakis. He met President Konstantinos Tassoulas, who said Cyprus's occupation shapes Greece's stance on Ukraine. Zelensky's next stops are Paris and Madrid. Russia has launched a total of 1,217 drones and missile attacks on Ukraine in the past 7 days, according to Ukraine's armed forces. 176 attacks were fired overnight, with Ukraine's military saying it shot down or neutralized 139 of them. At least one person was injured in the northern Sumy region when a village was targeted, causing a large-scale fire, Ukraine's state emergency service said. Russia's defense ministry claimed on Sunday to have captured the village of Ropnopoli and Malatokmashka in the southern Zaporizhzhia region, as intense fighting continues on the front line. Meanwhile, Russia said it shot down 57 Ukrainian drones overnight. In a post on X, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Kyiv is working to restart prisoner exchanges with Russia.
Big Hollywood names arrived in Bucharest, Romania for the premiere of the film The Yellow Tie. The movie centers on the life of one of the world's most acclaimed orchestra conductors, Sergiu Celibidache. Oscar-nominated actor John Malkovich portrays the famous conductor in his later years, while two-time BAFTA winner Sean Bean plays the role of Sergiu Celibidache's father.
You know, it's a beautiful film, very well made, very well written, and the characters obviously factually based about this incredible musician who was quite unique in the world of music. It was just a pleasure to be able to come to Bucharest and play the part of this musician's father.
In an exclusive interview for Euronews Romania, John Malkovich spoke about his role in the film and the deep connection he felt with his character, Sergiu Celibidache.
Let's talk a little about the movie, because people really loved it.
The Yellow Tie is a combination of years of work especially by Serge Chalbataki and his wife Adela, but by a number of people on the team, James, Olivier, and others. So, of course, I'm glad for them, and I feel quite honored to have been asked to do it, and quite pleased that the Yellow Tie presents a pretty full portrait of this man who had a lot of talent and a lot of integrity and fought the good fight for what he believed in.
The film was shot over the course of 7 years and is directed by Serge-Ioan Celibidache, the great conductor's son.
We have reached the beginning, a new phase of the film. The dialogue with the audience is starting. We've been waiting for this moment for a very long time.
The cast of the film, which premiered in Bucharest, also includes Miranda Richardson, Kate Phillips and Ben Schnitzer. A surprise guest was also on the yellow carpet at the gala premiere. Renowned director Tim Burton.
Did Wednesday in Romania 4 years ago, so I'm happy to be back.
The film's producer Adela Celibidache invited members of the production team on stage, while Sean Bean expressed his admiration for actor John Malkovich.
I can't believe I'm standing next to a hero of my right, John Malkovich. I followed his career and he's an extraordinary, unique actor.
The Yellow Tie is the most expensive Romanian film ever made, with a budget of €20 million and was entirely shot in Romania.